breakup of the family, the different directions, all the secrecy, all this upheaval, all this damage, all this tearing us apart.
Welcome back to GlowGossips USA, where the truth always finds its voice. Today's story isn't just another chapter in the long, messy tale of the sister wives. It's the explosion that could finally burn everything to the ground. This time, it's not about spiritual unions or jealousy-fueled confessionals. No, this time it's about money, missing money, and a woman pushed too far. Janelle Brown, once known as the calm, collected wife who kept her head down and her books balanced, has now done the unthinkable. She's called the police on Kody Brown, the man she once shared a life with and the father of her children. Her claim? That he embezzled over $1 million from her personal and business accounts. This isn't reality TV anymore. This is criminal. For years, fans watched Janelle stay loyal, practical, and quiet. While other wives clashed or crumbled, she endured. She raised her kids, she managed the money, she believed in the dream, or at least she played her part. But behind the calm exterior, something had been building. Cracks first appeared during the pandemic, when Kody's draconian rules and unyielding favoritism toward Robin turned their family into a minefield. Then came the season 17 bombshell. Janelle was done. She walked away. What fans didn't know was that she wasn't just walking out of a relationship. She was about to step into a financial nightmare. After separating, Janelle began doing what she had always done best: organizing, reviewing, calculating. But this time, she wasn't planning a family budget. She was searching for answers. And when the numbers didn't add up, she hired a private accountant. What they uncovered left her stunned. There were massive withdrawals, unexplained wire transfers, and entire blocks of missing financial statements. All roads led back to one man, Kody Brown. Documents revealed that more than $1 million had been quietly funneled out of their shared LLCs and family trusts, straight into accounts Kody controlled alone. And then she snapped. In late July, Janelle did what no one expected, not even her closest allies. She called the police. According to sources within the Flagstaff Police Department, Janelle didn't just make allegations. She came prepared. Signed documents, transaction records, bank trails, witness statements. One officer reportedly said, "This wasn't emotional revenge. This was a clean financial takedown." Days later, investigators appeared at one of Kody's business properties and served him with a notice of investigation. And just like that, the mask fell. Robin, predictably, lost her mind. The moment she learned Kody was under official investigation, she reportedly went into full meltdown. "She's trying to ruin us!" she allegedly screamed. According to a family friend, Robin is convinced that Janelle, Christine, and even Mary are conspiring to bring down her and Kody's empire. Empire? What empire? Christine is happily remarried. Mary is rebuilding her life. And Janelle? She's not crying in a corner. She's going to war. When pressed for comment, Kody gave a pitiful, defiant response. "This is a misunderstanding. I would never steal from the mother of my children." But leaked documents tell a different story. His signature is on multiple wire transfers. Funds meant for real estate projects on Coyote Pass. Sister wives' royalties redirected into shell accounts. Over $300,000 in payments to consultants who don't exist. A shocking paper trail dating back to 2021 shows Kody bleeding money from every corner of the family businesses, in small, frequent transactions designed to slip under the radar. Classic embezzlement technique. One damning email, allegedly from Kody to a business partner, reads, "We'll restructure this quietly. Janelle won't know a thing." But she did. And now, so does the world. For once, even Mary and Christine are united. Christine, on a live stream, said flatly, "Janelle is the most honest person I know. If she says he stole, he stole." Mary's response was even more raw. "I've kept my mouth shut for years, but now I realize the signs were always there. I just ignored them." Both women have offered to testify on Janelle's behalf if this case goes to trial. And that's not a small gesture. It's a public declaration of war. Behind the scenes, TLC is panicking. The upcoming season 19 was supposed to be Kody's redemption arc. Healing, rebuilding, maybe even a new love interest. But now, producers are reportedly scrambling to refocus the entire show around the investigation. There's even early talk of a docu-series spin-off called The People vs. Kody Brown. That's how serious this is. Kody's entire brand is imploding. And the fans? They are eating it up. The Sister Wives subreddit exploded overnight. TikTok and YouTube creators are dissecting the documents, praising Janelle's courage. The hashtag Justice for Janelle is trending. The tide has turned. As it stands now, Janelle has retained a white-collar crime attorney, while Kody is scrambling to assemble a defense team focused on family business litigation. A formal hearing is expected this fall. If charges stick, Kody could face felony theft, civil penalties, and even jail time. But for Janelle, this isn't about vengeance. It's about truth and getting back what's rightfully hers. At Coyote Pass, the land that once symbolized family unity now hangs in legal limbo. Janelle's legal team is already preparing to freeze Kody and Robyn's assets, including their new home and any remaining land parcels. One insider whispered, "He built his kingdom on their backs, and now that kingdom is burning." Even Robyn's kids are reportedly asking difficult questions. Did Dad really steal from Aunt Janelle? The emotional fallout has only just begun. But here's the twist. Janelle isn't hiding. She's rising. She's been seen attending local networking events, holding her head high, smiling for cameras. She's even hinted at writing a book, possibly titled Breaking Free, From Plural Marriage to Financial Independence. One recent Instagram post read, "I may have lost $1 million, but I gained something far more valuable, my self-respect." The comments exploded. "Expose him, queen. You were always the brains, the real MVP of Sister Wives." As this story continues to unfold, one thing is crystal clear. Kody Brown is no longer untouchable. The days of hiding behind charm, patriarchy, and TLC contracts are over. Janelle has shattered the illusion. What comes next? Legal justice, financial empowerment, and maybe, just maybe, a brand new beginning for the woman who finally said, "Enough is enough."
But they just didn't want to come along.
So you never experienced him trying to raise you up?
No, he never talked about that with me.
As the sun rose over Flagstaff, the tension in the Brown family's world tightened like a noose. What was once a symbol of plural unity had now collapsed into a battlefield of blame, betrayal, and bitter reckonings. And in the heart of it all stood Robyn, no longer the cherished last wife, but now the woman facing the biggest downfall of them all. The courtroom that had once echoed with confident justifications from Robyn and Kody now trembled under the weight of evidence, witness, testimonies, and financial revelations that none of them could hide from anymore. Mary, with her head held high and her resolve steeled by years of quiet suffering, was no longer the sidekick in Robyn's narrative. She was the force that had finally drawn the line, and Robyn had crossed it. What shook the viewers and followers of the Sister Wives saga wasn't just the legal accusations or the court drama, it was how Robyn responded to it all. The woman who once claimed to be about family unity had twisted the narrative so thoroughly that she was now pointing fingers at everyone but herself. Her lawyer, in a desperate move to sway the judge, accused Christine and Janelle of manipulating Mary into their revenge plan, calling it a sisterhood turned sour. But Mary wasn't having any of it. She stood up, looked directly at Robyn across the courtroom, and said with trembling fury, "I made my decisions when I was finally free to make them. No one forced me. You did." The silence that followed that statement was deafening. Even Kody looked away, unable to meet anyone's eyes. Outside the courtroom, reporters swarmed like vultures, hungry for updates. The headlines screamed chaos. Robyn's empire crumbles. Mary and Janelle unleash court bombshell. Sister Wives fallout turns legal. Coyote Pass secrets exposed. And behind every headline was a family breaking further apart. Kody tried to keep up appearances, but even his smirk had faded. The once charismatic patriarch now looked gaunt, tired, and hollow. The financial strain was obvious. Robyn's massive expenses, her custom-built home, private education for her kids, and alleged siphoning of shared funds were no longer private matters. They were courtroom facts. And with every new revelation, the public turned colder. Janelle's face was stone when the judge brought up the missing payments from their family account. payments that had gone toward luxury purchases and real estate investments in Robin's name. That money wasn't gifted, Janelle clarified. It was communal. She just took it like it was hers. Christine nodded in agreement, recounting how their shared dreams of equal ownership on Coyote Pass had slowly morphed into a nightmare of Robin's exclusive control. Documents presented showed how Robin had quietly secured portions of the land under her name, locking the other wives out without any transparent discussion. But the real twist came when a surprise witness was called, a former financial advisor who once worked with Kody and Robin. Her voice steady, she revealed how Robin had urged Kody to redirect profits from their TLC paychecks to a separate business account only she had access to. She positioned it as a backup fund in case things fell apart, the advisor testified, but she never disclosed it to the rest of the wives. Shocked gasps filled the room. Kody, flushed and visibly agitated, tried to interrupt, but the judge silenced him. Robin's face went pale. Mary's hands clenched in her lap, the betrayal cutting deeper with each passing moment. Social media exploded. Fans were relentless. Hashtags like #MyRobinExposed, Justice for Janelle, Mary Rises, trended for days. Viewers who had once sympathized with Robin now questioned everything. Was she always playing the long game? Did she ever want sisterhood? Or was it about securing Kody's undivided loyalty and the resources that came with it? Her image as the devoted, emotional wife shattered completely. Even her tears, once seen as vulnerability, were now being labeled as manipulation. But while Robin crumbled under pressure, Mary rose like a phoenix. In an exclusive post-court interview, she revealed her regrets. "I should have stood up sooner," she admitted. "But when you're gaslit long enough, you start believing the lies. Robin made me feel like family only existed if I followed her rules. And when I stopped, she cut me out." Her voice trembled, but her resolve was clear. This isn't revenge, it's closure. Meanwhile, Christine and Janelle found unexpected support from the community. Locals in Flagstaff had long whispered about Robin's distance from the other wives, her expensive lifestyle, and how she rarely interacted unless cameras were rolling. One neighbor confessed, "We'd see the others helping out at school events or community drives. Robin, never. She kept to herself in that big house, like she was better than them." Those sentiments began to reflect online. Robin wasn't just isolated in her marriage. She was isolated from reality. Kody, on the other hand, spiraled. He tried to play the victim in a tell-all interview, claiming the wives had turned on him and that loyalty was dead. But viewers weren't buying it. The mask had slipped too far. His failure to protect his family, to ensure financial fairness, and to allow each wife autonomy had finally caught up to him. What was once seen as a man trying to balance plural marriage now looked like a man playing favorites to the point of destruction. And yet Robin still clung to the hope that Kody would stand beside her. But when the judge asked about their current finances, and Kody hesitated before disclosing a joint debt he shared only with Robin, her expression changed. She hadn't expected that level of exposure. Later that night, cameras caught her leaving. The courthouse alone, makeup streaked from crying, her body hunched in defeat. Kody didn't follow. He was seen hours later at a diner with his phone, texting furiously, perhaps to damage control, perhaps to someone else. But one thing was clear. The alliance between them was crumbling. The court reconvened days later for final deliberations. The judge, referencing breach of financial trust and lack of transparency, awarded Mary and Janelle partial compensation from shared assets and ordered a full audit of the family's accounts. Robin's request for a private settlement was denied. The damage was done. And though no one walked away without scars, it was Robin who had the most to lose. Her kingdom was gone. Her allies were gone. And now, the truth was out there for the world to see. But even with the case wrapping up, whispers of more secrets began to surface. A leaked audio message between Robin and a close confidant hinted at deeper manipulations, strategies to encourage the other wives to leave one by one so that she could secure legal marriage, more screen time, and ultimately financial control. The backlash was immediate. Fans called for Robin to be removed from future TLC specials. Sponsors pulled away. The fall from grace was now a complete nosedive. For Mary, Janelle, and Christine, it wasn't about money anymore. It was about healing, reclaiming their voices, and finally letting go of the narrative Robin and Kody had tried to control for years. And as they walked out of the courtroom that final day, side by side, not as co-wives but as women who had survived, they didn't look back. It started with a sudden illness, but it may have ended with the final crack in Kody Brown's crumbling empire. Dayton's health emergency wasn't just another scare. It was a full-blown medical crisis, the kind that should have sent any loving father rushing to the hospital. But Kody? He was nowhere to be found. Dayton lay in intensive care for days, with machines beeping beside him and doctors checking him every hour. Robin didn't leave his side once, not to sleep, not even to shower. But the man who legally adopted Dayton, who once claimed him as his son, he didn't even call. Insiders say Robin was blindsided. She kept trying to reach Kody, begging him to come. But all she got in return was a cold excuse. "I can't deal with hospitals. You've got it handled." That moment shattered her. After years of defending Kody, standing by him through public scrutiny, and taking on the role of the ever-loyal wife, Robin finally saw what Christine, Janelle, and even Mary had been warning her about. Kody was loyal to no one but himself. So where was he? Off on a solo spiritual retreat in the woods, completely unbothered by the life-threatening emergency back home. Even when Robin told him how serious it was, he refused to cut the trip short. "I need time to get my head straight," he reportedly said. The irony was unbearable. Robin had spent over a decade cleaning up his messes, financial, emotional, familial, and when she needed him most, he checked out. Dayton's emotional state during the hospitalization was heartbreaking. He's always been private, but staff say he kept asking, "Where's Dad?" over and over. He wasn't angry. He was just confused and hurt. It wasn't a missed football game or forgotten birthday. This was life or death, and Kody disappeared. When the public found out, they exploded. Online outrage flooded forums, TikTok, and Reddit. "You don't get to call yourself a father after this," one user posted. Another said, "Robin gave up everything for this man, and he couldn't even show up." The aftermath was even uglier. Robin reportedly went silent after Dayton was discharged. For days, she refused to speak to Kody, and when she finally did, the dam broke. "You left your son to fight for his life without you," she screamed. Kody, as always, deflected, claimed she was exaggerating, accused her of making it all about emotions. But something inside Robin had snapped. "You're not who I thought you were," she told him, "and I don't think you ever were." Meanwhile, Christine, Janelle, and Mary were watching from the sidelines, and they had plenty to say. Christine didn't hold back. That boy needed his father. Kody had one job, just show up. He failed again. Janelle, whose own sons have long felt ignored by Kody, added, "He talks a big game about responsibility, but when it's time to step up, he vanishes." Even Mary, usually quiet, made a bold move, reposting a quote that read, "Being present is the only way to prove you care." But what came next? No one expected it. Mary Brown, the first wife, the one who had endured public humiliation, spiritual divorce, and decades of neglect, made Kody an offer that shocked the entire family. She was willing to financially support him. Yes, the same. Mary he emotionally abandoned. But there was one catch. He had to divorce Robin, not spiritually, legally, publicly, completely. Sources say the offer came during a private meeting in Flagstaff. Kody was spiraling, broke, paranoid, desperate. Even TLC was backing away. Mary saw her chance. "I'll help you," she told him. "Pay your legal fees, fund a new business, bail you out. But only if you end your marriage to Robin, sign over assets, and announce it to the world." Robin's reaction when she found out? Total breakdown. She reportedly collapsed on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. "She's trying to steal him back," she kept screaming. "I gave up everything for this man." She's now living in the guest suite of their mansion, not speaking to Mary, accusing her of emotional blackmail. But insiders say Mary's not doing this for love. She's doing it for justice, for revenge, for closure. Mary has spent the last few years rebuilding herself. Her business empire is booming. She's financially independent, emotionally detached, and for the first time, fully in control. Her estimated net worth is over $2 million, and she's using that power to flip the script. Kody, sources say, is torn. Robin is still his legal wife. But their relationship is a shadow of what it once was. And with mounting legal trouble, child support issues, unpaid taxes, and fan backlash, he's on the edge. "If I don't find money soon," he reportedly told a friend, "I'll lose everything." Robin, desperate to hold on, is making moves of her own. She's planning to relaunch her failed jewelry business, pen a memoir, and is allegedly seeking a high-profile interview to reclaim her narrative. But it may be too late. Public sympathy has shifted. Fans who once viewed Robin as the favorite are now seeing her as the final casualty in Kody's downfall. TLC producers are reportedly scrambling. Season 19 was meant to focus on Kody's healing journey, but with this bombshell betrayal, they may pivot entirely. A solo Robin special is rumored. A new miniseries on Mary's power play is in development. Titles like Robin's Reality, What Loyalty Cost Me, and The Deal Mary's Ultimatum are already circulating behind the scenes. And Kody? He hasn't said yes. He hasn't said no. He's stuck in limbo, watching the empire he built fall apart piece by piece. He always wanted control. Now he has nothing. No respect, no unity, and maybe no wives. What started as a plural marriage built on faith, love, and shared dreams has become a battlefield of betrayal, legal threats, and emotional warfare. But through it all, one woman stands taller than anyone expected: Mary Brown. The wife who was cast aside might now be holding all the cards.